Replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
And now, from the Dignity Health Studio at the Bakersfield Californian, it's time to open up with Dawn and Tina, your favorite pair, on the air.
We hope so.
Yes, we're on the air. Good morning, everyone. We have a packed studio, and we want to thank everyone for watching today in the studio, our live audience, and around the world. We are drinking something so delicious. It's called Alibaba, and we get it from Nature's Food Market and Juice Bar at 1918 G Street right here in Bakersfield. Denise Haddock has done it again with a lovely Easter decorations here, and she's sitting out in the hallway there. Denise Haddock, Interior Design. So, Don, good morning.
Good morning, Tina. You know, you can just feel yourself getting healthy drinking that. It's just packed with things. They just do this. And you know, a big move coming up for them.
Yes.
Going to go to one of our iconic stores here in Bakersfield, Henley's. They're going to share that space, and they're about to double their visibility, and well-deserved.
And it has a drive-through.
A drive-through? Yep.
Yes, and that's coming up very, very soon, Don.
Yeah.
May 1st.
We'll do that.
Yes. So what's
Well,
going
listen,
on?
we've got so many good things here in this program. You're going to hear from one of Bakersfield's favorite weathermen, and just a fine man himself with good words for the coming week. You're going to hear from a woman who's been at the heart of the music industry in Nashville and country music, gospel music, sisters that have sung together all their lives. But now what we have is our sponsors, and we are so proud to have from McFarland, the mayor of McFarland, Manuel Cantu, and the city manager of McFarland, John Wooner. And the reason we ran into them up in Seattle, we were up at the League of American Cities doing In God We Trust. And anyway, they just began to share with us. You know, McFarland, those of you who don't know, is just a little town alongside Freeway 99 here in the great Central Valley of California. And it's kind of one of those places you either drive past or you drive through briefly, stopping at McDonald's or to get gas.
That's true.
But we just learned there are such exciting things going on in this little town. So many of our viewers live in little towns. And to see a town like McFarland, it's like a whole new breath of energy and life coming into your community. And, you know, if there's one thing, John and Manuel, that I've learned as a journalist, there are no small places. Every place has its own unique dynamism and DNA. And so just share with us some of the things that are going on in McFarland. It got me excited when I heard about it. I think other people will be as well. Why don't we start with the movie, first of all? You know, to have a major movie being done on your community.
Costner.
Tell us about that.
Well, there was as you know, McFarland, as many know in Kern County, McFarland has had a lot of great success with their cross-country program, thanks to the legend, Jim White, our legendary high school cross-country and track coach. And several years ago, Sports Illustrated came around. They started gathering the data, the stories. And then at some point in time, the movie made it to Disney. And Disney decided a couple years ago, right, John, to start working on the movie. It kind of lost steam after about a few months, and it died off. They called us and said, hey, you know what, nothing's going to happen. We're not going to move forward with the movie. And then all of a sudden, you know, they call us up again, says, you know what, we have new producers and things are changing. We're changing the story. They locked in Kevin Costner. And next thing you know, we have Hollywood rolling into McFarland with all these trucks and camera crews. And
the movie title is what?
It's the name of the city, McFarland. And that was one of the things that being an administrator at McFarland High School, and whenever our team shows up to an event, the one comment most people make, especially with cross country, is, well, here's McFarland, or McFarland just showed up, or McFarland's here. McFarland won again. So the name McFarland stuck with the team. it wasn't the Cougars. That's our mascot. It's McFarland.
Oh.
So the movie obviously took the name of the obvious comments that people make. McFarland is here, or McFarland won again.
So Kevin Costner will play the coach.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you've got young athletes to, and tell us about the record that these young athletes, here's a small town up against huge schools, 4 or 5 times the size. Tell us, John, just tell us the record that
Well,
these
they
guys
have
set.
back in the early mid '80s, somewhere around there, they won 9 state championships in a row, and since then they've won quite a few more, and they are winning even today. So that's how strong that cross country group is, and and now the people that were running in the movie, they're also the coaches now. So it's really interesting. But Maria Bella plays the wife, and they came in and did transformed our city back to 1980, redid all the facades and everything, and built a big tent city. Came in. It was well done, and they really injected a lot of money into our economy, and it was a great experience. And I met Kevin Costner, by the way, so
Yeah.
he's actually a very nice guy.
He's
If
a
you
Valley
go-
guy, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he is. He is, and he had just took his time to talk to everybody and visit with people, and really a stand-up gentleman.
So how far along is the movie right now?
The movie is already in
Editing or
editing phase,
stage.
and they'll
okay.
be releasing that movie, we're told, in November of 2014.
So coming up for the holidays.
Coming up, it's a feel-good movie. though.
Now, all of the improvements that they did, will those stay permanent now?
No, that's all the stuff they brought back were interesting things that were there a long time ago, and so that when they actually took the facades down and put everything back the way it was, but for a while there, almost 3 or 4 weeks, Manuel.
Yes.
They transformed our city into just a throwback. So it was interesting to drive down Main Street, for example, and see how it looked, in the 80s.
Wow.
This tradition of winning at such a high level of excellence, 9 state championships and then more to follow. That's not by accident. What can you tell us about what the coach instilled in these young men to make this happen?
Well, Jim White.
And were you a runner,
Well,
Manuel?
no, I'm sorry, I'm not built for running.
Just for office.
Yes, exactly. Just for sitting down and enjoying the being a good spectator, I guess. No, Jim White carries a wonderful persona. He's a man of faith, and he instilled faith, he instilled confidence, he instilled this enduring spirit in all the runners, and that is something that kids look up to nowadays, especially when there's a structure that is felt, and it's not just a discipline and coming down on these boys and forcing them to run. It's something that these boys want to do, and they feel it. They sense that from Jim, the desire, the heart to be a successful person in life. And what John was saying is true. Most of these runners back in '88 and on through the late '90s have moved on to college. Most of them have college degrees. Some have moved on in different industries, and most of them have come back to come to McFarland or the Valley to become teachers. And so Jim did more than just make them cross-country champions. He made them individuals. He made them men of integrity.
Winners in life.
Exactly.
And now they're bringing that whole influence back, and
Yes.
it must be breaking out in other ways than just in athletics. What are you seeing?
Well, from what we've seen is, I believe that McFarland, you mentioned the small town. It's very quaint. It's a very humble community. A lot of humble beginnings. Most of us were migrant families at one time. And the economy is changing. So with the economy, the humbleness is still there, but you do have a lot of people with a lot of heart and a lot of work, strong work ethics. And that is what's translated to this team. These kids see that. They grew up working in the fields or hanging out with mom and dad in the fields. And so they understand that putting in your time and giving hard work pays off at the end. And that's what basically is demonstrated with the success they have in cross country.
Do you have any people from Bakersfield that are in the movie?
There are actors that were from the area,
Okay.
Bakersfield, and mostly were from Bakersfield. But there were two students, former students of ours, that weren't runners. No, sorry, let me take that back. One was a runner, the other one wasn't, and they made it on the movie. They are characters in the movie. And what was interesting also is that one of our counselors at the high school was on the first team as well, Mr. Danny Diaz. He's our counselor at the high school, and so when Disney came down, they got a chance to meet everyone.
Oh, really?
And they got to see the original runners, and so it was a good time for them to reflect and share with the folks on the movie set. And a lot of things were in transition, so a lot of things changed. As they got here and they got to meet the players, the runners. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was going to say that, almost all the citizens were extra in the movies. They were at the games, the track meets. They were people walking down the streets. If you had a car that was in the right time period that you owned, you would be able to put your car in the show, in the film. So
That's me.
yeah, and so you're going to get a lot of people that were actually in the movie, that when they're going to be there, you're going to be hearing that probably in the movie. That look. So it's pretty neat.
And speaking of, do we know where in November? Because we're looking forward to a big party. Where they?
Well,
We don't have the exact date
We don't
yet.
have a date, but one of the things that was shared to me was that they want to do a red carpet premiere here in Bakersfield.
Oh,
Great. Oh, that'll
So-
be terrific.
It will be nice.
We've had some of those. You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned Coach Hill being a man of deep faith and passing on.
Coach White,
I'm sorry?
Jim White.
Jim White. What did I say?
Hill.
Oh, I'm sorry. It would seem to me that maybe that wasn't a stretch for Kevin Costner. I mean, he's a Valley guy. He kind of knows, the whole climate down here. Grew up in Visalia. Was an athlete himself. And if you saw his tribute to Whitney Houston, he kind of revealed himself to be a man of simple but strong faith too. And I'll bet there's some real connection between him and the coach. What did you sense there? You got to talk to him, John?
Well, I do sense that connection. Jim White is an outstanding individual in a lot of ways. I've had opportunities to talk to him many times, but what I do know is that they are similar not only in the way they think and how they handle themselves, but they also are similar in the way they look. They look similar,
Wow.
which is kind of interesting. But they have the same body type, the same. So I think overall it was a perfect match for the movie. Sometimes you don't get that in these movies. You say somebody's playing this person, and they don't even look like them. But this one is going to be very close.
Did you ever get to the backstory about why the movie died and then why it suddenly was resurrected and had a whole new life?
Well, I was the fortunate one that got to talk to, I think his name's Eisner, the head of Disney
Yeah, right.
production. So that was an interesting conversation. But basically, when they reviewed the original script, they didn't think it was good enough, and so and they wanted to sign. They knew right away that they wanted to sign Kevin Costner, and after reviewing it and everybody looking at it, they said, well, it just needs to be revised. So I think that really the thing was, I think the movie was going to be done. It just needed a stronger script, is what people were saying. But it took about a year, right, Manuel? Yeah. About a year.
All right, we're coming up on a break, and when we come back, we'll hear more about
You bet.
McFarland.
All right.
Right.
Thank you for staying with us.
I'm a comparison shopper. I shopped around. I did look on the internet, and in shopping around, it was the best price.
We decided to switch over to Personal Express because we saved so much.
We got a pretty good discount with when we put our house and our cars together.
Switching over saved me $300 a month.
And I have had insurance companies call me, and when I tell them what I'm paying for the insurance, they tell me, we cannot beat that.
Low rates with the local advantage. That's Personal Express.
The new book is out. That was easy. I would title this thing sort of a description of what raising children is like. That was easy. I've been writing columns now for about 25 years. Writing has always been a conversation. If you're taking somebody by the hand for 3 or 4 minutes and you're not letting go. The new book, That Was Easy. Nothing easy about any of this, but we've had some fun, and I hope you guys will have some fun looking at this book.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
You know, we were just talking in the break about all of us are saying we've never seen a Kevin Costner movie we didn't like.
Right,
I mean,
Don.
just something about the guy. And so, Kevin, if you or your agent are watching,
Yes.
you know, they need to know about our founder, General Edward Beale here, the man who literally was the face of the West, rode the country 13 times on horseback, created the Camel Corps, was a friend of presidents. Anyway, Kevin, call your agent. You need to know. Well, anyway, we hear that this coach, we didn't catch that, Jim White, is still alive.
Yes, Jim White is alive and well, and he frequents Bakersfield quite a bit. He's still coaching as an assistant. He comes down and coaches with the current coach, head coach, Joel Lopez, and so he's still around. He's still motivating kids. They're asking him to write a book, and so he's a very sought after individual, and more so after this movie is finally out.
Listening, as we come up to this red carpet event, help us get Jim White on here.
You bet.
So that the nation can meet him, California can meet him. We'd really like to get to know him too.
Yes,
definitely.
That should
Get
be
him
good.
on here to open up.
There you go.
You know, we're seeing that McFarland has actually changed its city logo. And I see we're not going to be able to show it because we didn't do it in advance, but here's a long-distance runner. Yeah. You know, that's going to be your image.
Yes.
It is. We've worked hard. Council has been making some tough decisions, but good decisions, and the process of trying to change our image is actually part of this running. We're running to the future. Our logo says that it's tradition, unity, and so we're really looking to change our image.
From a sleepy little town in the valley here.
We'll be using our cutout or shadow cutouts of runners. They'll be in places all over town, and even across. They're putting a new rocking bridge. They'll be tearing down the old one that's there and putting a new one in. And across that bridge will actually be shadow cutouts of runners going across. Cool. So a lot of that is we're latching on to that as our new future.
See, Don, you said McFarland is a town you either drive through or what?
Stop briefly.
Oh, I've never stopped in McFarland that I know of. So
now the best Mexican food you ever had. The best taco trucks, best tacos, is the best restaurants.
Really? Okay.
I guarantee you.
We'll be there.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of the University of Oregon, and that's track capital USA. I mean, back in the days of, the great track runners up there. But those guys, Oregon's the perfect climate to train for long distance. It's cool. You can run in the rain, but man, you guys are talking about running in 105-degree heat and on that flat valley ground. That's a challenge all in its own, just training under those conditions.
Yes.
And they have just recently, I can't remember the age of the young girl that
we
won
have,
first in the nation.
Yes, we have a young feeder program, and within that feeder program, there is a young lady, she has won a national, taken first nationally in track and field and cross country 2 years in a row.
Wow,
it's amazing to watch her. I mean, she everybody's running fast that's around her, but she's so fast and so
we
so
have
much endurance that she just. It looks like they're standing still almost.
Her name is Didi Salcido. She's definitely a runner to look for in the future. We at the last track and field event, she was kind of set a little further behind and pacing herself. And towards the end, the turnaround on that last lap, she just opened up and she beat these girls from, I think they were from LA, some very, very strong, aggressive runners from LA, and this was in North Carolina. And so it was a national event for them, and this is the second time they've gone and they've won these long-distance running events.
A lot of good and miraculous things coming out of McFarland.
And the future still holds many more exciting things for McFarland.
When you first explained some of this to me up in Seattle, I was tempted to call it the miracle of McFarland.
Exactly.
Is that overstating?
No,
case?
I don't think so. I think what's happened is, and you mentioned that, Don, that McFarland was asleep. It was dormant for a while. And I think what happens is when people realize that to have a community, there has to be a bonding of neighbors coming together. And one of the things that John and I have been very instrumental with is getting people involved through committees to form, for example, a new logo, all the beautification that's happening downtown. We have different committees for that, so we want to get people involved, and the more people the more they're connected to their community, then that creates more pride and more support for our kids. Our schools are, as you know, the state of California in general, school funding is limited, and so without the additional support of private industry and other grant opportunities, these kids will not get opportunities as others to flourish and to have their stories known.
And over the years, you've had such stalwarts of your communities as Warren Carter and his wife Lenore, that they've done for McFarland, and that has spread throughout all of Kern County leadership classes. Gentlemen, we want to just thank you for coming on, and we really want to get Coach White. And also, we just want to say these segments have also been brought to you by
Kern Construction and Electric.
Specializing right there. And boy, did we not get his website, his phone number?
No, the telephone number is 661-322-5554.
That's easy enough. And specializing in small projects all around the property. And BakersFit.com. You met the number one trainer in Kern County. And we're talking about athleticism here. And that's the guy to go to really get fit right here in Bakersfield.
Bill Robinson. You do have the McFarland info? Oh, great. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
City of McFarland, 401 West Kern Avenue in McFarland, California. The zip code is 93250. Telephone number 661-792-3091.
Be a part of the miracle. All right, we'll be right back, and we're going to take you to the heart of Nashville with a woman who really knows everything there is about gospel and country music. We'll be
Thank
right
you
back.
so very much for coming. Thank you.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores. Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californian's Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Hi, Corey Costello here, host of Roadrunner Rundown, Tuesdays, 10 a.m. right here on Bakersfield.com. It's the official program of CESUB Athletics. We bring you inside the program with interviews with coaches and student athletes. Of course, everybody's favorite Corey versus. I mean, people like to see me in embarrassing athletic situations. And, of course, we'll have all the highlights from around the Roadrunners as well. So join us for Roadrunner Rundown, Tuesdays, 10 a.m. right here on Bakersfield.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
And we're back, Don and Tina here, your favorite pair on the air.
Yes, yes.
We're working at it. Anyway, we're so glad to have you back, and we really have a wonderful guest that just happened to come to town because her sister lives here with an incredible background in music, country music, gospel music, and publishing. And so
Yes.
do the introductions, Tina.
Don, we have with us Judy Nealon, and Judy had this is her maiden name is Spencer, but before that
Peck.
was the Peck.
The Peck sisters.
Peck sisters. So, Judy, talk to us about your background. Where did you grow up? You grew up in Georgia, right?
Yes.
And all kinds of famous people and interesting things going on around her.
Well, our mom was a native Californian.
Oh, she was?
And born in Sacramento.
Okay.
And our dad graduated from San Jose High School. So we had strong background.
Yes.
But they were in the ministry and traveled.
Oh, that's how you ended up in Georgia.
And so Daddy ended up, Mama and Sharon was born in Indiana. And then they had Linda.
Okay.
And they had me.
Yeah.
I'm the middle of three girls.
Okay.
And Valdosta, Georgia.
Oh.
And for 18 years, I was involved in everything, cheerleading, the whole thing. Well, it just so happened that my aunt and cousin were at my house in Georgia when I graduated, and they were riding a Greyhound bus back home to San Francisco.
Greyhound
And
bus.
so I begged my daddy, please let me.
Oh.
And so my aunt and cousin sat in one seat on the Greyhound bus, and I sat with strangers for 5 days. And they thought I was Donna Douglas from
yes.
the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes. Ellie Mae.
Ellie Mae.
We've got her
And
right
they
here.
were all, I was learning acting all the way across the United States. So I started having a ball as soon as I rode out from Columbus, Georgia.
Wow.
And we ate along the way. And at the end, we were out of money. And my aunt made friends with another lady, and we borrowed money. And my aunt, of course, paid her back immediately when the bus docked in San Francisco. Her husband was standing there with the wallet, and we paid her back. But it was an incredible experience that launched me into the life of independence that I've had. I've been the leader in our family for launching out and going someplace. And over the years, I've really learned, and I really didn't even know this till my heart was broken from a situation that really hurt me deeply. And one day I was praying with some friends and my sister, and I got up, I wiped my tears away, and I said, I just feel like the Lord just told me he orders our steps. And my sister, being older and a scholar of the Bible, and her friend said, yes, it says that right in the Bible. It says it. And I was that old and didn't even know, because we can go to church our whole lives and miss so much. I had gone so much that I knew how to tune it out and think of other things.
And now this scholar of the Bible, you're talking about your older
My
sister,
sister,
Sharon
Sharon.
Elmore, who's a
Yeah,
pastor
right.
here in Bakersfield,
That's right.
Word of Life Fellowship.
Yes.
So, Judy, where did your steps take you?
From that moment on, I trusted it. And I'm telling you, it has worked. Now, I know from life experiences it had already been working, because I was already having a ball. I got in California, and eventually my whole family followed me. And my mother started a career in Sacramento at 50 years of age. She had never worked. And she took the state test for a job with the state, and she came in 91 out of 1,000 applicants. And that's because she was a reader. She was a reader, so she was a smart person.
Okay.
And she began working in DMV and got way up the ladder, and things just happen to you that are unexpected, that somebody just says to you, they're giving tests.
And then you go and
it's across the street. And that's how life began to happen. And that's what I expect every day.
Oh.
Right now, we're studying at Sharon's Bible Study, experiencing God, knowing and doing the will of God.
Every day.
Every day. Right while we're whining and we're asking everybody, please pray. I've got this major problem. Right then, God has something going on. It's already happening. It's already been put together. One of the examples in that Bible study, I've done the Bible study 5 times. And every time I
you
get something out
good
of it.
and something new.
Nashville is full of people with hopes and dreams. And they think they got to make them happen. Well, you do have to be prepared.
Okay.
If you're going anywhere and you play a guitar, make sure one's in your trunk, because you never know when somebody's going to say, bring it in. I know many careers that have started because somebody was prepared. But
Okay,
the
that's
Lord
good.
establishes the moment.
Okay.
If you're not running
That's-
amok and going in the wrong direction,
That's good,
you
Judy.
can stop what God's planned for you if you're not being flexible. And
That's
a
good.
voice and a person, come on, like Tina. Is she not wonderful?
Oh, Judy.
Tina
She
is
is,
just
she
the most
is.
wonderful, because I really didn't feel like being here this morning.
I'm glad I'm so
And
wonderful.
this morning, when my hair was going in every direction, and I didn't know what to wear, and I went, why did I tell Tina yes? But
Because
Because
can't
you
say no
think
to
I'm
Tina.
so wonderful.
she is so wonderful.
Yes.
And Dawn, the same with you. The day my sister, we've been through a lot with her brain surgery, and she saw you sitting outside of Kaiser, and she, I've got to say hi to my friend Dawn. And that's how y'all are. You're a light, and people are drawn to you.
Wow.
And so we went over, and yes, you beamed, and you had the cutest dogs in there. Nothing better than a smiling face, some dogs and children. That will draw you a crowd anytime.
Yeah.
And I loved you. Sharon told me your story. She's told me your story. I'm so thankful you're able to be on this internet television.
Well,
it's the new day.
Yes.
Nothing can hold anybody back. All we have to do is get the word out, and that's the way to do it.
You know,
You know-
we're
go
so
ahead.
thankful to the Bakersfield Californian for giving us this opportunity.
Really, Tina and I had kind of almost casually, humorously talked about doing a show together, But then, as you say, your steps are ordered by the Lord, and suddenly there came this encounter with Richard Bean, the president of the paper here, and asked, "Hey, are you interested in expanding what you're putting on your web TV?" And he said, "Yeah, we are." And I said, "Well, we might be interested." And that was the catalyst that we said, "All right, a door is open. We'd better get through it."
Right, being prepared and ready to be flexible, Judy, like you said, ready to be flexible to move ahead. Judy, can you talk to us about what's going on in Nashville? What you do? What do you have going on there?
Well, I reinvent myself every so often because I've always worn a lot of hats, and it's according to what the day needs.
Yes.
In fact, when I saw this beautiful Easter things, I thought, "Oh, I'm not in an appropriate outfit. I should have looked Easter." But I got to Nashville with a broken heart from a marriage that a child had died, and when the anniversary of our daughter then turning 16, her dad left.
Okay.
He couldn't face it. That here we had another child, 16, and they're going to be driving because he died in a car accident. And I took over the publishing company, and I thought, okay, I've got 2 girls to finish raising, 16-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they're going to get married, and I need to be where I want them to find their life mate. So I was going back and forth to Nashville from California, and I decided before I knew that it's in the Bible that God orders our step, I felt that unction. That's my favorite word.
Unction.
An unction. It's an unction.
What is an unction?
It's a prompting of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, a nudge.
A nudge.
All right.
Yeah.
I get those.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I was very involved. I was PTA president over a good portion of California. And I opened up a lot of PTAs in schools. And so I was experienced in leadership.
Okay.
I led our church and had events and every major artist at Grace Baptist Church in Newhall. And so I had the experience when I needed to pull up stakes and go to the place where I was going to work.
Yes, and where you're going to flourish over there too.
And so I asked the girls, "Is it okay with you if we sell the house and go?" And they'd been many times, and they both said yes. And so we kept it a secret. We didn't even put a for sale sign in front of the house because I didn't have time to tell people buy. It was like the earthquake happened in 92, 93. And so the house had a few damages, and I got a realtor, and I said, "What's a fair price?" And in 3 days, my house sold. And the people still live there, and now it's worth a lot of money. And I'm glad that they've had happiness there, and they were able to fix those things. But I've had happiness in Nashville.
Yes,
When I was going down the road, big Mayflower truck, United truck, one of those movers, and I found out the day before I was leaving that I had not been approved for financing. And I still thought, I'm still believing God's leading me that way. And I'm going to just say, financing will come for that beautiful brand new house that I've just finished building.
In Nashville.
In Nashville.
Okay.
And so my staff is standing there going, "Are you sure?" Because I could get financing if I brought my ex-husband into and I didn't want to. And so I wanted to do it on my own with the Lord.
Yes.
And one day out of Nashville, I got the call. I'd been pre-approved, and I would have the house when I got there. And I still live in that same house 21 years later. They call it swinging doors because I have so many guests. And I've been out here 6 months, and people still come and go constantly out of my house.
Can you name some of those guests?
The Hoppers, the Martins, Gaithers. Everybody's been in there to eat. I
Except
serve
for
dinners,
Dawn
and you're invited.
You know, I just want to share something here. When Tina and I conceived this show, we've never conceived this show as a ministry. I mean, this is not a religious show. We just ask
Or
people,
a political show.
or political, but we just ask people to open up, and it's just been amazing to me
Open
that when
up.
people open up, that faith is so much a part of so many lives in so many dimensions. You know, walking with the Lord. whether it's in politics or business, or haven't we seen that just consistently?
Yes, consistently.
It's just a foundational part of so many lives.
And we love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we're probably 2 minutes, and he's got your info. He's going to put on the screen shortly. But what else do you want to say?
Don't put any info about me.
Oh,
There it
well,
is.
there it
We
is
just-
already.
No. Go ahead. Don't listen to her.
no.
Put it up there.
Judy Nealon, and she's the CEO of Nealon Music Group, and she can be located at judynealon.com.
The only thing I want to say about that, if I can quickly,
Yes, please.
is that the Martins, they're huge. They're
Yes,
one of the two sisters and a brother. And they started out living without electricity. They would save up the battery on the car to listen to the Grand Ole Opry, and they learned from their local groups. And what I'm making the point of, your local influence is tremendous. And they learned from the local groups. And when they finally had enough money to go to a big concert in Little Rock, they thought the Cathedrals and the Blackwood Brothers and all of them were copying their local groups. And the Martins' music came to me in a time that I was broken and I needed restoration from hurt. And I listened to it, and a week later I met them.
Wow.
And we took them to the Gaithers and got Gloria to come in and hear them sing in the bathroom where the echo was just right. And they were on the next video. And they're on TBN, they're on a lot. But don't look to Nashville. Don't look to where Buck Owens and Merle Haggard started. Right where you're standing, God will plant you. There's somebody there that's already been over there, and they've brought it back. Bill Gaither says if you can't do it in Alexandria, Indiana, you can't do it in Nashville.
Or McFarland, California.
That's right.
Or
listen,
McFarland.
Judy, thank you for being with us. What
Mhm.
great words. And,
Yes.
And we've got more good words for the coming week coming up right after this.
Yes.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield Californian. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores. Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
The new book is out. That was easy. I would title this thing sort of a description of what raising children is like. That was easy. I've been writing columns now for about 25 years. Writing has always been a conversation. You're taking somebody by the hand for 3 or 4 minutes, and you're not letting go. The new book, That Was Easy. Nothing easy about any of this, but we've had some fun, and I hope you guys will have some fun looking at this book.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californian's Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The Daily Deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
And welcome back, everyone. This is Open Up with Don and Tina. We are your favorite pair on the air. We talk to real people about real stuff.
You bet. You know, and one of the things we love to do here is just open up a little segment we call Good Words for the Coming Week. And we invite anybody in the community who has something inspirational or encouraging or gently challenging to share to come on. You never know who's going to say, yeah, I want to do that. Well, the guy we've got here is Aaron Perlman. He's one of our favorite weathercasters on Channel 29, our CBS affiliate here. Aaron, so good to have you. And quietly, though he never makes a big deal out of it, he's a man of faith too. But Aaron, what have you got for us today?
Well, thank you so much, guys. And I do want to say my first experience in Bakersfield was working with Don. So it's good to be back with you working again. I have to tell you, as a weather forecaster on Eyewitness News, I don't have the opportunity or luxury to really share my faith. So here I am, opening up with everybody. And I will do that because this previous week, on Monday, we had a thing called the blood moon. And what's interesting about that, it's where the moon passes through the shadow of the earth. It's a lunar eclipse. This happens all the time. But this moon that came through happened over Passover, the start of Passover, and it's the first of 4 blood moons that's going to take place in 18 months. That's very unusual. So as a believer, I got to sit back and think, well, is there anything poignant about that? It did happen on Passover, and there's in fact going to be 4 of those in 18 months. And the more I think about it, it makes me think of this. And my brother, who's a pastor in Phoenix, Arizona, who's probably watching now, he was the one who brought it to my attention first. And he said this, hey, you know what? In the book of Joel, it says, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. I'm not trying to discourage anybody. This is encouragement here. It's basically saying, hey, look, there are these signs and there are these wonders that are going to take place before potentially Christ's return. I don't know what you believe, but the Bible has not been disproven out of all the prophecies that's ever been given. If you want to check them out, go for it. But then Peter, the apostle of Christ, later goes ahead and quotes Joel again in Acts 2:20 and echoes the same thing. The sun shall be turned into the darkness and the moon into the blood before the great and notable day of the Lord. See, it's not terrible. It's great. So you have to think, this is happening within these last couple of months. As a forecaster, what do I say on television? Well, I didn't have that opportunity to really say anything except the fact that Passover started, and there's going to be a couple more. But here I am with you today. And let me share with you this. Christ changed my life years ago. I was driving in my car, going to school, hating every decision I made in life. And I turned on a Christian radio station, and I heard a song. And I said, you know what? If you're real, Lord, I dare you to play this song immediately after the song was over. This was on a radio station. This is not a CD player. And it played immediately. In fact, the song wasn't even over. It started over immediately after I said that. And I thought, no way, this can't be real. I challenge you again. The song played the 3rd time. I pulled off to the side of the road, said, there is a God. There is somebody who's in control of my destiny. 2 weeks later, I was given the opportunity to be a weather forecaster. And I chose at that moment, if anything ever comes up like this, to share my faith, I will do it with you. So here I am today saying God changed my life, and I'm excited to see things actually taking place in my lifetime where a blood moon is happening several times. Is it coincidence? Is it coincidence I'm here to share this with you? Maybe. Maybe not. But I can tell you, the good word may not be something I'm saying. It may be just a sign to look up into the sky and notice that these signs could be saying Christ is returning soon. So, listen up.
Aaron Perlman, I certainly admire you for being faithful to that promise that you made to God long ago. You know, in the media, in some situations, you can get fired for just saying you're a person of faith. I mean, they don't want you out sharing what you're really about.
Is this recorded?
You should have seen Aaron. He grabbed his
But anyway,
Wow.
it takes some courage
Yes.
for someone in the media to stand up for those deep convictions.
And I'm so glad we were able to get him at this time.
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, well, Don, we have someone returning with us. He's been with us before. And this is John Thompson, our favorite voice on Open Up. And John is, let me get this, John. I'll say it. Brumbies Run Australian Stock Horses.
That's correct. You got it.
Chief Operating Officer or executive?
There you go. Head breeder, Chief Executive Officer. Not the financial part. That's my wife's start on that. But yeah, I about 10, 11 years ago, I imported my very first Australian stock horse.
Okay.
And brought her over in fall and kept the colt as one of my future stallions. And then a couple of years after that, brought a few more mares over, also in fall, and began our very modest breeding program. We now have, well, we're the largest breeders of Australian stock horses in the United States. Of course, there's only 4 breeders in the United States, so we're one of 4, the only one in California. And we're enjoying it.
And you've got a big event coming up.
We have a big event coming up. We introduced camp drafting, or introducing camp drafting to California.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Australian horse sport, involves cattle and horses, similar to cutting. So it's going to be a little bit like cutting, a little bit like the working cow horse, and with a lot of speed and adrenaline thrown in on top of that. It's going to be a big event. So Camp Drafting California, or Camp Drafting CA, is where somebody can go to the website and find out more.
Okay.
But the Camp Drafting event is something that came out of working cowboys in Australia, and similar to how roping would be an offshoot of what cowboys did over here. Camp drafting is what Australians do, and it's a way of sorting the cattle out and then moving that particular cow to a pen. So now they've just turned it into a sport, and yeah, you got to hold on.
So, John, if I'm there watching this event, am I going to see you on a horse like John Wayne moving a herd of cattle or something?
You're going to see me on a horse holding on for dear life. I'm going to be. Excuse me. The camp drafting is going to be in one pen where you're cutting out one cow, and then once you've cut that one cow out, then you're taking it out into a large arena at speed, and you're moving it around a pattern, and that pattern is going to be similar to what a barrel racing pattern would look like. So kind of a clover leaf pattern, and done at speed. I mean, it's yeah,
adrenaline, excitement.
Adrenaline. It's a lot of fun. I participated in one out there in Colorado. Talked to the lady. She'd put on the very first one in the United States, and I said, I'm taking this to California. They do it in Australia all the time, and so I'd organize with a trainer over in Australia and a top camp drafter and a judge. So he's coming over. He's bringing a mate with him, and
a mate.
Yeah, a mate. In fact, this is all over Facebook, and I got some calls from Australia. There's a young couple that are honeymooning over here, and they said, "Can we come to your camp draft?" We'll come. So we got them a hotel room, and they're going to come camp draft. I mean, other people do other things on their honeymoons. I don't know that I would have gone camp drafting, but they're going camp drafting on their honeymoon. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Bit of a coincidence here. I'm kind of doing it up today because
I noticed that.
Our Rotary Club is going out to a ranch just south of Bakersfield, and we're going to watch some horse cutting.
Yeah.
So I've seen it once up on the Tejon Ranch. It's really remarkable, but there are differences with what you do.
There are some differences. So what you're going to see in your cutting is going to be similar to the very first part of the camp draft. So you go in, there's a pen, about 8 cows in that pen. You'll go in and cut one out, and you work it back and forth like you're going to see in your cutting today. But once that's done, then you take it out into the big arena, and then you actually have to move it around and maneuver it around obstacles at speed. So that's the big difference right there. And you're judged on 2 different components of that: the pen work, where the cutting would be taking place, and then out in the big arena and going at speed. So we've got all kinds of riders. We've got people from Texas coming, Pennsylvania, Colorado, coming in. So we anticipate a big time.
And where's the location, John?
We're at Rancherio Stables, which is on Peacock Park Place, right down
by the big Manor Church.
Down the Manor Church, Calvary Bible, Calvary Baptist, Calvary Bible.
Right off the bluffs.
Yeah,
right off from the bluffs.
Just not far from my home.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's open to the public. There's going to be 3 days of eventing. The first day is going to be the judging clinic, where people learn exactly what
day is that?
The 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of May.
2nd, 3rd, 4th. All right.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And then the Sunday is the event. Saturday, we're having a lot of cattle work and a lot of training, and then entertainment that night. We're working with the Wounded Heroes organization, so part of our proceeds will go to help what they're doing with their work with Wounded Heroes.
That's excellent.
And we have a young man who is a musician, one of the Wounded Heroes, who's going to be providing our entertainment for us.
Okay.
He's just starting up in the music business, so we asked him to come along and get the exposure, big barbecue dinner, dancing, all that kind of
And
stuff.
all this is free and open to the public, or
It's
just
open to the public. The dinner's $25.
Okay.
That just covers, the cost of the steak and the cooking it and stuff like that, and we're paying for our entertainment. As far as the Sunday, coming to the event is free.
Oh,
Just
okay.
come and watch and hang out. There'll be a lot of vendors there selling different stuff.
Oh,
In the break,
great.
John said he's going to put me up on a horse. Am I going to stay up on a horse very long?
I think you can stay up on the horse as long as you want.
Okay.
Oh,
I've got
okay.
extra horses there.
John, we'll look forward
Yeah.
to that. Tina,
Wow.
we need to go. Why don't you take us
Yes.
out?
Well, thank you so very much, everyone. We want to thank our sponsors for today, McFarland. That's all we can say. And we will be there. Thanks to Judy Nealon and John Thompson, Aaron Perlman. And if we missed anyone, Denise, thank you.
All the best.
See you next time.